In this lesson, you're going to learn how to use ACSS's width and text size classes. We're going to get on with building the rest of the page in the next lesson, where we'll practice all we've learned about classes so far and extend a few techniques as well. But here, I want to quickly wrap up those 10% of classes that you'll use 90% of the time with width and text sizes. Width first. So I want this container here to be less wide than default containers. See on my site? So you can see here how the hero header section is a bit narrower than the rest of the content below it. It's not really the kind of content that needs to be the full container width, and I think it's a nice design effect. That's really easy to do. Cheat sheet again. I've filtered down to the width category. Here are the width classes. Pretty obvious, right? Width, dash dash, and then the t-shirt size. Note there is also width full, which actually sets your container the full width of the viewport, the entire browser window. Let's try it. So I'll select the container. Let's first go with width full. I just want to show you. I'll quickly preview this just so you can see it properly. See, that's overriding the default container width and making it full screen, which could be handy sometimes. But see, this is small, that's medium, that's large, extra large. Okay, so none of those are as wide as the default container. Even extra large isn't quite as big as the default. But what's going on with these columns? Why are they stacking to one column at the smaller widths? Well, take a look at the grid class we have on this container. It's an auto grid class. So this is automatically deciding what it thinks is best for us. Obviously, that's not going to work, is it? So let's remove the grid auto class and replace it with a standard grid class, just grid 2. Now we can set the width we want. Let's try width L, maybe. Give that a preview. I don't mind that width, actually, but it does make the grid look a bit weird. I'm not sure 50/50 is the right choice here. Let's come out of preview. I'll select the container again. And instead of grid 2, I'll get rid of that class. I'm going to go with grid 2-3 instead. That's 2FR and 3FR, which is basically 40% and 60%. That's better. The content does look a bit unbalanced though. I'd like the 2 column lengths to be a bit more similar. Well, one thing that we could do here is just use a longer version of Brooding Bruce. Let's go to the media library. I've already uploaded one here for speed. Yeah, and that's better. I might also make this text into just one paragraph, which is more typical for a hero header maybe. Okay, give that a quick preview. And yeah, that's better. All right, to tablet. Okay there too. Mobile landscape. Actually, this looks all right at 2 columns as well, I think. And mobile portrait. Yeah, we need to stack to 1 column here, don't we? So back to the editor. And because we're now using a standard grid class, we actually have to add another class to tell Bricks to drop to 1 column at mobile portrait. So that is grid dash dash again. Remember the mobile portrait breakpoint is small in ACSS, so let's find grid small. And it's grid small 1. That means this grid will be 1 column at the smallest breakpoint. Quick check of that. Yeah, that works just fine. We'll shift this content down or maybe center it vertically when we finish the build and make the final tweaks in the next lesson. So that's widths anyway. What about text sizes? They're easy as well. Check out the cheat sheet again. I'm filtering here to show only the text size classes, and also I'm only showing classes, not variables, so we don't get confused. So we first have some heading sizes, like you've already seen in the hero header, H dash dash, and then the size of the heading level you want the element to be. And then there are these text classes, text dash dash, and the t-shirt size. There is also this larger class as well, which multiplies the current font size of an element by whatever number is set in the ACSS typography settings, as you can see here. By default, it's 1.2 on mobile, scaling up to 1.5 on the biggest desktop screen. But apparently this only works on headings, which is weird, isn't it? And also apparently this feature is going to be removed soon anyway. So let's just ignore the text larger class completely. So as an exercise, what if, for example, I wanted to make this intro hero header text a bit bigger than the default? Currently, it's just body copy size or medium size. Easy enough. First select the element, then add a class. I can start filtering text, dash dash, and then text large. And yeah, for me, that's actually too big for this particular hero section. The default is working just fine. But there will be a use case for text size classes again when we make the testimonials, as you'll see next lesson. I just wanted to show you quickly here how they work. They're very useful. All right, we have a bit to do yet to finish this page. We've got the testimonials and a few other design tweaks as well, and we'll complete all of that in the next lesson, taking the opportunity to practice a lot of what you've learned and also some new stuff as well. So I'll see you there in a bit.